Kate yelling at you about the hand lotion?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Hello, and welcome to the Bookwars Pod. I'm Miranda, here with Chris and Kristen. This is episode 107, and we are wrapping up Queen Shadow by E.K. Johnston.
Remember when we read that book like months ago?
Good idea.
Oh my God.
No, I don't remember when we read the book, if we're being honest.
If we're keeping it 100.
If we're keeping it 100. We've gotten no feedback that I can tell from about my soundboard. AKA I haven't been checking the Twitter, so thank you, or the Slack Patreon, because we just went live with something at work, so I've been busy actually working for once in my fucking life.
Also, she does what she wants.
Correct. It's so true. How you doing, Chris? It's been I named the recording. It's been 84 years because we
Yeah, it's been a minute.
In forever.
The long-awaited Queen Shadow wrap-up that we've been promising for like 3 weeks.
And to your folks.
Listen, sometimes it'd be like that.
Yep. Hey, at least I finally edited Queen Shadow episode 2 after like 2 weeks of waiting.
Hey,
You're
that's
welcome,
good.
America.
It still counts.
And you guys fixed my movie mini, which is why I'm not allowed to post. But I did put that up. Let me know how much you guys hated that.
I'm afraid to listen to it. I won't do
Oh,
it.
yeah, you should.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
listened
sure
to it
it's
yet
bad.
either, but I'm very excited.
I just
Cool.
vaguely remember recording it and screaming about copyright
That's-
issues.
Yep, that
Oh my
was a
God.
lot of that. Well, I mean, it was mostly we were screaming about copyright issues because I was basically just, for part of it, just reading the subs into the microphone. So, but we attributed it, so it's fine.
Nice.
Cool.
But yeah, other than that, I'm good.
Good.
Just been playing a lot of Fallen Order.
Good.
Like a
That's
lot.
Star
Like that's
Wars
basically
game.
all I've done for the past like 4 days, which has been fun.
Good.
It's
Be an
it's
adult.
it's fun. We'll cover it at some point on the pod when more people have played it, but it's fun. It's fine.
You said the gameplay is fun.
The gameplay is very fun. The story is blah. That's
Yep.
my review.
Yeah.
Really compelling stuff for us to cover it on the pod then, Chris.
I know, right? Like I feel like we should because like that's like what we do, but also like if we're just talking about the stories like how consequential it is for the canon, it's going to be like a 2-minute pod.
Well, yeah. I mean,
It's
No.
not.
I know very little about it except it's knockoff canon, but like plain white boys in my Star Wars.
Fucking Christ on the cross.
Like that's my takeaway
Oh my god, he's so
based
boring.
on knowing nothing about it.
The main character is so like he's so boring, and it's I feel bad because it's not the actor's fault. The actor actually does a decent job with the material, but it just the writing is just very boring.
You
This
hate
sounds,
to see it.
This sounds correct. Cool. Well, thank you for that. We'll be looking forward to not that. But then we can talk about what it could have been because we like doing that.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a better idea.
Um,
It does have Dathomir in it though, so that's fun.
Oh, we
Ooh,
do like
love
Death.
we love
Dathomir.
Dathomir.
That's right. We do. Chris, are you drinking something?
I am drinking bourbon. I think it's the same bourbon I was drinking whenever the fuck we last recorded. It's from Texas, from Balcones Distilling or Balcones. I don't actually know how it's pronounced.
Remember, like before where there were fewer than 75 episodes and we used to like actually get interesting things to drink on the podcast, and now we just drink the same thing every pod because we're us. It's great.
I have a new drink for today.
What's your drink, Miranda?
I'm drinking bourbon as well. But this is Angel's Envy bourbon
Oh, we love Angel's
that
Envy
I
in
just
this
bought
house.
today. And it's
Ooh, how is it?
delicious.
Is it good?
Yeah.
I've never actually had Angel's Envy.
I had it for the first time over the summer, and we have a friend who like recently started working as a rep for them, and I think she like low-key tried to give me some. She like also
It's her job.
owns Well, no, it's like her restaurant's right by my office.
Yeah.
And so I went there like with my boss and coworkers and like somebody who is theoretically in my chain of command, but is not actually like in my direct management situation.
Is this relevant to the story?
Yeah, it's about the bourbon. But so we roll up, and she was working that day, and I haven't seen her in like 6 months.
She owns this restaurant for what it's worth.
And she's
she
like,
and her partner own the restaurant.
She's like, oh, like, you want to come back and I'll show you something. Heavy air quotes. And I was like, I'm at work.
I'm with people that I
Like,
work for, so no,
this
please
is-
do not feed me booze during work.
This is my boss. I would love to. The bourbon is very good. Would recommend.
Yeah, it is good. Angels and Me makes good stuff. Cool. I'm drinking wine, which is like one in a row. Because
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, well, my good friend Tamahito made me and some of our friends Japanese curry tonight. So I brought wine and I was drinking the wine, and then I took the wine with permission home. So I'm continuing to drink it. I actually just tried this because I brought a few bottles, but I just opened this. It's the Planet Oregon 2017 Willamette Valley Pinot Noir, which is what the Willamette Valley is famous for. That and non-oaky Chardonnays. More and more. If you want good non-oaky Chardonnays, get them from the Willamette Valley. That is my white wine plug. This is not my favorite Pinot. I think it's going to be much better. But we kind of ran the spectrum at dinner tonight. We had like a very typical Oregon Pinot, and then this Planet Oregon Pinot is much more, it's like a down brand of another winery that I really like. It's Soder, but this is much more in the French style, so it's a lot richer and denser, and it's actually like a little sweet right now for me. So it's good though.
Yeah. This is
it keeps me from drinking it too quickly if it's a little sweet. It's less tannic than I thought it would be. But
this is brought to you by I don't know anything about wine, Keeks.
all right. Fuck off. Everything I know about
Amazing.
Pinot I learned from someone who has a lot more money than me and was kind enough to teach me about wine. So
I mean, nobody learns about wine from poor people, Kristen. That's not what
correct.
happens.
Correct. Except for people listening to this podcast right now. They are learning about wine from a poor person. I'm not poor,
mean,
but you know what I mean.
Generous to assume they're learning anything, but okay.
It's so true. Everyone knows that they skip through the beginning because our intros are the worst.
Except for the rest of the pod.
Yeah, the rest of
Yeah.
the pod's also bad.
Rest
Don't
of the pod noted for its high quality.
Yes.
Stinky.
Stinky.
Oh boy.
Should we Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Let's Star Wars.
Cool.
Star
Wow, that
Wars.
was actually a quick intro. We're only 8.5 minutes in.
I know. I was gonna say
Wow.
under 10 minutes in my Book Wars pod.
I know. Yeah, it's good. Cool.
All right, so yeah, so as a reminder for those who read the book a month and a half ago and don't remember anything, not saying that's anybody on this podcast.
Not me.
Nope.
But we talked a lot last episode about kind of Padme and Mon Mothma and Bail and how they're the loyalist committee. Like they're forming the backbone of what will be the Republic side of the Clone Wars. And it's just interesting to me to look at their faith in the Republic from like a larger view, knowing what we know as the reader, that obviously the Republic is at this point already corrupted by Darth Sidious, is that they're the good guys for putting their faith in an institution that's being run by a Sith Lord. And I just like find that like that's just like the height of like dramatic irony.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in their defense, they don't know that he's a Sith Lord.
No,
You
I
made
mean,
it
yes.
sound a little bit like they knew he was a Sith Lord. They
No,
don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why it's dramatic irony. And
Yes, correct.
I guess my rebuttal to that would be that I don't know if I necessarily view them being loyal to the institution as much as, you know, they're putting their faith in a system. Because obviously, like, they don't know it yet. They're starting to learn it. The institution is fundamentally corrupt. It's broken. The Senate doesn't work. The Republic's about to fall apart. But they are very much on board the train of, like, a small R Republican system for the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they think that this is the right way to govern it, and they very firmly believe that. They're about to go into several wars about it.
Star Wars and my Star Wars.
But I think, at least the way that I approach it, like, there is a difference there. I think, like, right now, where we are in the canon, like, the system is certainly represented by the institution, but they're not there for that explicitly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. It's just interesting because, you know, you see them and they're putting their faith in this system that, like, obviously, even though they don't know that it is intentionally irreparable, it's still pretty clearly irreparable at this point. And even Padme is starting to get that by the end of Queen's Shadow. Like, she's understanding that it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and that she needs to find a way to make it work. She hasn't quite gotten to the jaded point of there is no way to make it work. But it's just interesting because, you know,
Padme is
looking at
very-
The good ideas.
That's how she
My God.
feels.
oh my god,
That's not
Um,
untrue. I'm not
no.
just dropping them in.
um,
That's how she feels. She's looking around the Senate and she's like, oh my fucking God. Nobody is getting anything. Are you serious? This is what we're doing? I get it.
very true, very true. But it's just interesting because, like, I mean, looking in, like, real life, not that Star Wars isn't real life, but looking in real life for a moment in our own galaxy, and you look at kind of like where the faith in institutions has gotten us, and then you look at, like, at Star Wars and at the Senate, and how, like, there's this faith in institutions that we are taking, or that they are taking on faith as the right decision, and it doesn't feel like that's the right decision. Like, it doesn't feel like they are doing the right thing, even though they are the quote unquote good guys. And that's just a very interesting place for them to be.
Yeah, it really feels like blind faith. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
why do they have faith in this system that is absolutely positively not fucking working? And remember the blockade and how you almost killed that young princess? No? Cool.
Yeah, it's the blind faith, and, like, this is how it should work. Like,
Yeah.
and we know this, like, not Padme because she gets dead, but, like, Mon Mothma and Bail, who also gets
Technically,
dead.
they all get dead.
Well, at some point, yeah, but, like,
Everybody
all
dies,
get dead.
Miranda.
Padme gets dead before this. Like, they're they're idealists. Like, that's the whole fucking point of running a rebel alliance contrary to the Empire, is because they believe there's a better way. It's just that at this point, they don't understand that what they think is the better way is not what's, like, fundamentally happening. Like, empirically.
Mm-hmm.
That means numbers.
Sure does.
It also means empire.
Oh.
It's a really bad pun.
Oh, God.
Um,
I was like, are you just ribbing me? She was, like, literally ribbing. She was sticking her elbow in my rib area. I was like, are you just... Yes, I work with numbers. What the fuck, Miranda?
I too work
Fuck
with,
you.
I too work with numbers.
I know you do.
And it's actually about evidence
Thank you.
more than numbers. You can have
I hate you.
you can have qualitative empirical evidence.
Thank you.
But
I want you to get off of the podcast.
well, you're the one who invited me.
God damn it. I did it again.
But empirically, like, obviously this shit is broken.
Yes.
It
is
sorry,
broken.
I got distracted by yelling about definitions. I
Thank you.
did forget.
who you are.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you're totally right, Bird.
Paul.
Very shut up, Paul at Miranda. Anyway, I like the lag, so I press it, and then Chris tries to talk, and then anyway, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I was just gonna agree with Miranda that it is interesting that and agree with you that this blind faith has kind of led them to this, and it also makes me think about, what does it tell us about governance in Star Wars at large? Because this isn't the first. I know, yeah, this isn't the first time we've
It's
seen
not good.
government problems. Like we've seen. I mean, it is timeline wise, but not
Okay.
us wise.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about Bloodline, like you have the entire, like that book starts with, like they're literally dedicating a statue in honor of Bail Organa, and Leia is thinking about how it's all broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's like the same thing that her mom went through, and just realizing that it's all broken. You see nothing was getting done in the New Republic Senate. You had these two factions, and everything was too weak to for anything to get done because they wanted to not enable a Palpatine. And it eventually led to the same thing. It's just that the threat came from outside of the Senate instead of inside.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that Padme, I was about to call Padme and Bail Leia's parents, which isn't not true, but Brea is not involved in the point that I'm about to make, which is why I was going to say that. Padme and Bail are very much on the side of we're trying to make this work in this framework, and Leia's very much the next generation of senator is very much I'm also going to try to make this work, but I am also going to work outside of this system to make this work and pretend that I'm not doing that, which I think Bail and Mon and Padme so far and in this book have definitely tried to stay in the system more to make things work, whereas as we see Leia what was that book with Han and Lando in it?
Last shot.
Last Shot.
She was okay, yes, no, don't tell me, but okay. Yes and no, shush. I think we see, we obviously see the evolution of the thought of we must stay within this and make it work, to her becoming more and more disillusioned, and as that happens, doing what she needs to do to get shit done outside of the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that willingness to go outside the Senate is something that obviously really grows in Padme, which is ironic because the start of her political career is her going around the Senate because with the vote of no confidence. And
because the Senate is bad at their job.
They are. How
Senate.
unrelatable to our world. Kristen personally is the Senate. This is true.
Yeah, it's all her.
I am bad at my job. Thank you. I'm very.
I think it's a good idea, and I'm standby.
When things aren't working,
You stopped talking, and I was like, where are we
coming.
going with this, Kristen?
Oh my god! Don't me.
Oh, to be fair, I do have bronchitis. So that's the
Oh,
other
Jesus.
reason that we did not. Okay, you didn't know this, Chris, but that's the other reason that I
No.
wasn't podcasting is because I was coughing constantly. And it's almost gone now. So
She just
Well, that's
coughed on
good.
me.
I did just. Okay, it's not contagious. Calm your tit. Anyway, I know you have two. She's holding them up. Anyway.
I was going to say, is it
Yeah.
is it appropriate for me to ask why
Where
she
the
only has
other
to
one
call
went?
one in this scenario? Yeah.
No, just a unit.
Wait, is Orky still under your feet?
No, he went back downstairs because he loves Kate more than me.
Bye, Orky. I love you. Jasper is here. I brought his crate into the room. He was not happy about it, but now he's in there chewing the things that I give him. And he's quiet. But if you hear him, that's who it is. He's a dog.
Fair.
Puppy. Okay.
Governance in Star Wars.
Governance in Star
Bad.
Wars is bad.
They're bad at their jobs.
Do we think Padme will lose faith in the system and favor the separatist view that the system broke? Is that what you're trying to write?
Yeah. Well, your wine glass was in the way.
I'm
of the
aware.
keyboard. No, so I think we've briefly touched on this in the pod.
This has been Kristen reading the outline for the first time.
we've
Going back to our roots.
Yep. This is a throwback for all of you original listeners. To be fair, Miranda added that during this, so
Oh yeah.
of course.
Yeah, if you heard typing earlier, that's what was happening. It's me misspelling my question.
She wrote Nroke, N-R-O-K-E. Anyway.
I feel like we've touched on this briefly before and have been like, how do we think Padme would feel like if she hadn't gotten dead, if Annie hadn't gone like full Terminator. I don't know anything about Terminator. If Darth Vader wasn't born, like, do we think that she would have changed her position, like, re the Clone Wars? Because, you know, we just talked about this. Like, she's an idealist. She believes in the system, but she sees more and more, and we get to watch her kind of come to terms with this, that the system is broken. It's not working. Palpatine's kind of a dick. Like,
He's a dick lord, Sith. Sith
Oh my God.
Lord Dick.
I don't even know what you were trying to go for there.
I don't know, but I just wrote Dick Lord on the choices for titles, so you're welcome.
It's gonna be great.
anyway.
That's our new porn cast.
Oh, let's not.
Oh, no.
Poor Chris is like, oh no, I've lost control again.
Anyway, that's my question. How do we feel about
Yeah, I think that she did eventually lose faith, and I think that that's kind of what we see over the course of, you know, it starts here in this book and it continues through Attack of the Clones, where she still believes in the Senate, but like she kind of is very tired and is tired of people trying to kill her and is tired of this debate over creating a military that she doesn't want. And like you see it in Attack of the Clones, where like you have her on Naboo talking about all the bullshit that's going wrong, and Newt Gunray's still not in jail, and you have all this shit. And then, like, at the end of the day, they kind of just shrug, and Queen Jamelia is just like, gotta keep our faith in the Republic, because what else is there?
Do we though?
And
Yeah.
we'll see. You touched on something that I think also touched on something that I think also kind of adds to that, is like the big debate in Attack of the Clones theoretically is like, does the Republic need a standing army? And we see in this book, and it's kind of alluded to in the book, that like this is something that's been going on Naboo for, or no, like maybe a couple years, maybe the end of her reign and to Jamila's
84 years.
84 years, that Naboo is trying to strengthen its defensive positioning in the galaxy because of the threat from the Trade Federation. And like, it's something that she's personally against. Like, she's for it to an extent because she was queen when they got invaded, and that's not good. But like, I think she's seeing this happen at like a Republic-wide level to an extent that it's not like, oh, we got attacked, like maybe we should do something about this. It's like, oh, there's like a couple people trying to do a standing army for all of us. That's not a good idea.
It's a bad idea.
No way that can go wrong. Also, this system isn't what I thought it was or think it should be, and that doesn't seem good either. It's like,
Chris, can I
Yeah.
ask a tangent question when you're done your point?
I was just gonna say, I feel like what we see in this book in comparing to Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith is like her faith in the institution going away, and her kind of realizing that it's not just that the institution, that the Republic sucks, it's that she has had faith in the wrong thing, where she should be having faith in like whatever works for people as opposed to the system, which I feel like is like, again, kind of painfully relevant to what we're seeing in America right now, and kind of where the Democratic Party is like arguing about. And like, do we have faith in institutions, or do we have faith in the actual people who are suffering? Because by the time we get to Revenge of the Sith, like, Anakin's like, you're sounding like a separatist, because she's like, what if we just stopped fighting and like talked to each other again and like didn't make them come back?
plot twist, she is a separatist.
That didn't happen. Keep politics out of my Star Wars.
Anakin's a Sith Lord.
There's never been any politics in Star Wars. It's only ever been about the taxation of trade routes.
It's been about midichlorians this whole time.
Yep.
I'm
Anyway,
glad
you had a
Mr. Pro-
tangent.
My tangent question is, I know we learned a little bit about it, but how do term limits work for queens on Naboo?
It seems like they have.
Thank you for always just fielding my fucking stupid questions and not making me write them on the outline.
I want to say, if I'm remembering this correctly, that they serve 2-year terms, and they have a 2-term limit.
Oh.
Like
So
total?
Padme served for 4 years as queen, and then she stepped down because she was termed out.
Okay, that's pretty lit.
That's somebody. One of our listeners can correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I believe that's what it is.
No, that's my understanding as well. Because
That sounds right.
They talk about it in the book as well as in the movie. Because Anakin's like, I heard they tried to change the Constitution so you could serve more. Marry me. And
It's not a good pickup line, but here we are.
Well, it worked.
Have you met Anakin?
Have you met? Yeah, like that's the least believable thing about Star Wars so far for me is that Padme would ever agree to date Anakin.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's got no, but
blah, blah, blah. I have a sound effect for that, but
that's not the
here we
right.
are.
That's not the right thing.
Look at that, a full 15 seconds late.
But they note in Queen Shadow that like Jamila had been the queen. She had done a term.
Right?
They're like, oh, she served her 2 years, and then she was like, you know what, fuck this. Let me go be a singer. Like, that's what I'm actually good at.
Also, like the young queens is very interesting and weird to me, but
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
know. I
it's
kind
just
of
like
want
a
them to
thing.
dive. I want them to dive into the history of that at some point,
I just want to know
because
so
like you
much
definitely
more.
got the feeling from this book that like Naboo has kind of like a violent history, and like the handmaiden tradition is like ancient and like from like a time when there were assassination threats, and it was only because God, not Typho, Panaka was like super paranoid that they brought it back. And I want to go back to that time where
Yes.
like they started electing child monarchs and needed the handmaidens, the child monarch.
Boy.
Well, indeed.
Thank you for that, letting me have that, whatever that was called, tangent.
You're very welcome.
The dog is whining.
Jasper seems to have a question.
He doesn't.
Boggle.
He doesn't need anything. I don't even think he needs to go outside. I think he's just like,
It's just-
you're talking without me, and you're not playing with me.
What is this?
I know.
I don't know what Star Wars is.
I know. Hey, he's seen Star Wars plenty.
He has. He loves Star Wars.
Anyway, what's next on this outline? Did we cover predictions for a post First Order government after Rise of Skywalker?
Oh, we didn't.
Didn't think
I just
so.
find it interesting
I was
because like
listening. Look at me.
obviously there's the way to go. One in a
Yeah.
row.
I was
Wine,
like,
folks.
look, I didn't. I was like, I knew we didn't discuss that. I didn't just totally space out for 20 minutes of the podcast like I usually fucking do.
Right.
Listen, sometimes it's hard.
But yeah, it's interesting because like obviously the last two attempts at a republic have ended very badly
War.
and enabling the rise of dictators. And
Dictators.
It is a time of war.
It's a dick lord.
It is there are heroes on both sides, Kristen. But it's because, you know, you obviously have Holdo's line in The Last Jedi that of like, we are the spark that will light the fire that will restore the Republic. Whereas by the end of the movie, that turns into that will burn the First Order down.
Yay.
And
Okay, so I just want to offer up my hot take on what I think the post-First Order government will be. I'm going to go ahead and say that it's going to be an ineffective, small R Republican government
Think
run
it's
by
true.
a central Senate, all caps for the scroll. That's not going to do shit.
so we're just going to be back here in 30 more years.
Yeah, no, that's how Star Wars works. We
Star
know
Wars
this.
isn't cyclical. How dare you?
Listen, we've been doing this for 42 years.
Yep.
It's very
I don't know.
Sisyphus.
I'm interested. Like, I feel like that's the most likely, but I don't feel like that's necessarily the best solution because, like,
Oh, I'm not saying
I mean,
it's the best solution. I'm just saying that's what's gonna happen.
yeah. I'll be very curious to see. And I mean, this isn't something that we'll get on screen, I don't think, and I doubt we'll get it on the TV either. Like, we'll probably get it in books, but it'll just be very interesting to see where this goes because 2 in a row have ended very badly and with entire planets blown up. So
You hate to see it. Cool. Do we have to talk about the epilogue? I would rather
it's
not.
so rude.
I would
it's
rather
so
not
rude.
fucking talk about it.
Ugh. I love it so much, even though it's so goddamn rude. Just from literally the first sentence, which is the same as the start of the book.
Ugh.
The
Nope.
worst.
Rude.
But anyway, let's dive in. What do we think Bale said to Sabe?
Something that
How much does
made
Sabe
me
know?
Cry.
Something that made me cry a lot. I don't know how much she knows.
I feel like she knows though,
How much though?
like everything.
Hmm.
She's Padme's most trusted handmaiden.
It's true. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know that she knows about Vader,
But she knows about baby.
and I doubt. I don't know that she would know about Leia.
She knows at least about baby.
Maybe about Luke.
Well, yeah, because that's the sacrificial lamb here.
Not
I-
Luke. They kept his name Skywalker. Skywalker.
Hey, he was being protected by Ben Kenobi, no relation to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
Also being protected by the fact that he's on Tatooine, which is the one place Darth Vader will never return to.
You don't
true.
think he's related to old Ben Kenobi?
Ugh, sigh.
Nope. Nope.
But yeah, like I don't think Bale would have been able to tell Sabe about Leia because I feel like that would have put Sabe in an impossible position because obviously she loved Padme like so deeply, but for the scheme to work, she would not be able to have a special relationship with Leia, or else people would get suspicious.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have just put Sabe in a terrible position.
I don't know. I think Sabe could have handled it though,
Yeah.
and I think Bale may have known that,
I mean, I think if we think of
and
it,
like thought she deserved to know. Anyway, sorry. Go, Miranda.
if we think of it that way, I think like it's more likely that she knows about Luke. It's like, oh yeah, she had a baby. We hid him away. He's on Jakku.
He's not on Jakku.
It's all the same.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, where are they in relation to each other? We just went
Jakku
over
versus
this.
Tatooine.
Yeah,
I
I know they're not close, but
they're not close.
But also the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Jakku's
they're
in the
both
Western
probably
reaches, right?
yeah.
Look at me.
So
I know
I
we
want
just
to
talked about this, but
I want to say, and I could be entirely wrong about this, also partially because I don't even think there's an official galactic map that is like super canon because it's just too hard. Like the map, much like hyperspace, moves at the speed of plot.
the map.
But generally, Jakku is in, as one would guess from the Western reaches, kind of galactic west. Whereas I want to say that Tatooine and Naboo are in like basically the other end. They're kind of like galactic
East.
southeast on the outer edge.
Okay, thank you. I want.
Watch
know
that be
to
totally
get
wrong,
the
but
map. The map.
I know I wish they would release an official map, but
Space
I know
isn't
people have
real.
asked and they've been like, that's not going to happen.
Kylo's very sensitive about maps.
This is we're not going to release an official timeline and we're not going to release an official map. That's not this kind of franchise.
Space and time.
it.
Nope. Not in my Star Wars.
Hey, it's not science fiction.
I mean, it's not.
fantasy.
It is.
Cool. Yay.
And then okay, so where do we want what do we want to come of the epilogue?
I want more Sabe
Yeah.
everywhere. I want more handmaidens. Thank you. They're
Oh.
never gonna show up anywhere else, but I want them.
I'll follow Sabe to Wild Space.
Wild space.
That
sounds
would be
lit,
so
but
good.
Just give me my book. I don't care.
I want this will never happen. Like in my wildest dreams, I don't think this will happen. But I want them to get Keira Knightley to come back for the Cassian series.
Yo.
Why is Padme back?
Yo.
It's a valid question.
It's good.
That would be so good. It won't happen, but it would be so good.
Very yes.
I'd be into it.
Also, like letting Keira Knightley actually act
No.
with real writing
No.
and a real director.
No.
How dare you?
Big if true.
Not into it.
She's
How-
never acted before. How dare you?
How dare you?
Sigh. I still can't believe they got Natalie Portman to come back and do Thor. Obviously not Star Wars, but
I've never
same
seen
parent
Thor,
company.
but sure.
Which I only saw Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean the first two aren't good, but she's in the first one, and they
Oh.
got her to come back, and she's gonna be like a mainstay going forward
Oh, but
because she's
she's-
gonna be the new Thor.
Oh.
Siri, how old is Natalie Portman?
Wait, was Valkyrie not gonna? Was Tessa Thompson not gonna be the next
Natalie
Thor?
Portman is 38 years old.
Wild shit.
Why is your Siri like
A British
man? Yeah, that was unexpected.
Because he's soothing, and I have a lot of anxiety. And the
That's
regular
fair.
Siri voice gives me more anxiety, and the soothing
true.
British Siri voice does not give me anxiety.
I feel like his name should not be Siri though. I feel like they should change it. It should be like Cyrilled or Searhouse.
I think I
Siri-
can somehow change it. I don't fucking know.
Siri is a position in the organization.
What?
I feel like that's a reference that neither of us get.
Siri is the title.
She's doing that thing where she has her hand open and she's trying to explain something, like someone who's like explaining how to like taste wine, like I was doing earlier, and she's
Nice.
like, "Yes,
No, I feel like Siri is like a title.
sure."
It's like a ranking in
it is capitalized,
the
but
Apple
That's fair.
it would be if it was a
Apple
name as well.
organization.
The Apple organization.
That's
it's
fair.
the Apple capital for rankings galore.
Oh my god. But what were you asking? Oh, but so yeah, the first two Thor movies aren't that good, but Natalie Portman is going to be the new Thor. Tessa Thompson's still in it as like the Queen of Asgard. I don't know. I don't
Did they get
read
married?
enough comics. Oh god, I hope so.
It's the
I
only
don't
way I'm
read
gonna
enough
watch
comics
that.
to understand what the differentiation is. I just know that they're going to coexist. And that like Natalie Portman is presumably going to be like a major part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe again, which seems shocking to me that they actually like they must be paying her a large amount of money.
Yeah.
Sure.
Lord
Or
knows
she
that-
has like a dream to be in comics cinematic universe.
Ask her if she's a dream to marry Tessa
That
Thompson.
seems unlikely. Have you?
Hey,
have
I
you
don't
s-
fucking know. You don't know her.
No.
life.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know her life. I know what she said about her time doing Star Wars
I
and
don't
Marvel.
know any of that. Wait, who was Annie's voice? Who was Annie's voice during the Clone Wars?
Matt Lanter.
No, what about who? Freddie Prinze Jr. is who I'm thinking of.
Kanan.
Sure. I know Freddie Prinze Jr. did something. Sorry, I don't know who did.
Yeah,
anything.
that was neither Annie
I
nor the
know.
Clone
Okay,
Wars. But
okay.
good job.
It doesn't matter. Freddie Prinze. Did you see Freddie Prinze Jr.'s?
Pretty Prince Jr.
Did you see his Did you hear his interview on a podcast the other day?
Yeah, it was like a couple months ago, right?
Sure. I don't know. It just showed up on another podcast that I listened to today. So it's the first time I listened to it because, I'm not plugged into Star Wars at all other than this podcast. Anyway, it was very funny. Anyway,
It was very funny.
This is not inconsequential and not a point that I'm not making any kind of point. I just thought it was very funny how upset he got about everything. That was also why I made a Sisyphus reference earlier. Is now what I'm realizing. Miranda, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I saw that there was a video, but I didn't watch it.
Okay, cool. I'll play the audio for you later or something.
Anyway, let's go
Yeah,
to our
it's fine.
listener questions.
Listener questions. We actually got some this week.
Yay! Well, because it's been 3 weeks. What?
Yeah, right. When you tell people 6 times to send you questions.
Send your questions in. We promise we're actually recording this week. Psych.
So starting from Twitter, we actually got some Twitter questions, which is actually rare. At Tom the Fanboy asks, if you were a teen and somehow got tapped to be one of Padme's handmaidens, what new name would you take, and what would your specialty be?
I'd be Burbay.
Yeah, you would be Burbay. That's so true.
Absolutely.
What would you be, Chris?
I don't know. My name doesn't really
I know neither
lend
of our
well
names does.
to. Well, yeah, funny
Chris
how that works.
or Chris A.
I mean, I feel like Chris Day works. You would be Chris Day.
That's so stupid. I hate my name though. Okay, it's fine. I'm like, do I get to choose a new name? It's my dream.
Say
Keeksay. Keeksay is so stupid, but I love it.
they're all stupid. That's the game.
No, the rest.
I mean,
of
it
them
doesn't
sound
need to
good.
be. It could just be Kike.
Oh, so true. That's
Also, the name of a baseball player, or nickname
Yeah.
of a baseball
Yeah, I was
player.
about to say who is that, but then
he's a baseball player.
I went to Kaka. I was like,
Yep.
Different sport, but yes.
different sport, different sounds.
Let's come up with
Same
a good
consonants.
one for Chris.
Yeah, I don't know what mine would be. My specialty would definitely be like not Sabe, but like who was the like kind of like behind the scenes like kind of like general like floor general person at the lake house scene. Was it Rabe? Feel like I would be Rabe. Feel like that would be my role. I'd be the one who like keeps track of everything and like kind of directs people what to do and like helps run the show, but doesn't like, isn't Sabe. I feel like that's my ideal role.
Yes, I'm going with Furre, like Phere.
Oh my God. But let's
Burbay
not.
and Keeksay and Ferre. That's
It's
Furre.
Foray the foray.
That's right.
Yeah,
Okay, great,
yeah.
perfect.
Let's undo that.
Nope,
Let's just
sorry,
delete that
it's
whole
canon. I
segment.
just made it canon.
Oh my God. Hey, what would your role be, Keeks?
Oh, I don't fucking know. She would be like, she's not allowed to be here. She's too stupid and keeps forgetting who's who.
Just the decoy.
She can only be a decoy, but no one tell her.
You're just no one told you you're not actually the queen. You're just over in the corner.
Okay, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Just over in the corner being your Hufflepuff self, not digesting lactose.
We do not hate on Hufflepuffs in this podcast.
Sorry, that was way too funny for me to be laughing at my own joke and all of your jokes about me, but they were very accurate. If there was one that was like really good at technology, that would be me. Because I'd be like creating spreadsheets. Okay, I was
So you'd be
thinking
kind of
more
like
like
Versailles with spreadsheets.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like, when she gets into the Senate, I feel like one of them has to be, like, crunching numbers and stuff.
Yeah, there you
Whatever. If I would like to be vaguely kind to myself, otherwise what I said originally. What about you, Burbe?
Oh, I feel like I'd be a logistics bitch.
Oh, you would be.
Bitch A.
You'd be Eli A.
go. Oh my god.
Oh, we got our
Amazing.
Thrawn book, and it's got like that poster in it. And by our, I mean I ordered it for Miranda.
I paid her for it.
You did,
It's-
but I was like, let's get the one with the poster in it.
Nice.
So that
So that's what happened. We are adults. Chris knows bronchitis.
I'm good.
Yep.
We love
I didn't take any cough medicine today. It's very exciting because
our
it makes me
logistics
feel
boys.
horrible.
Anyway, at Space Jess
Yeah, Jess had a whole thread
has a.
that was
Is that why it's just a link in the outline?
yeah,
to
because
her
it was
tweet?
yeah, because it's like 6 tweets, and it's more of a comment than a question. But like
Jess.
Jess is the only person for whom we'll allow that.
That's true. I mean, she does
No.
have very good comments. Hold on,
no
I'm gonna click the
comments
link.
at this time.
I'm gonna click the
You
link.
got
I have to press
control,
control
click it.
first.
So I'll read it because, as everybody knows, Twitter works best in an audio medium. But kind of responding to our discussion last episode about
Twitter and Mime
yes,
audio medium.
responding to our discussion last episode about what would have happened if Padme had survived to be a founding member of the rebellion. Jess, and this is at Space Jess, co-host of Lousy Beautiful Town Pod, and Project Tahiti,
And all around good person.
and all around good person and cat lady.
Yes.
I think if Padme had survived, she absolutely would have been able to unify the factions to become the Rebel Alliance sooner. Her empathy for suffering propels her into action many times, even combat. Also, I think she might be respected as battle-hardened from being able to recapture her planet under invasion, but she also comes from a place of privilege in the ruling class of her planet and can connect the different viewpoints all the factions are coming from. I have this sad feeling that the sequel trilogy wouldn't be happening if Mon Mothma hadn't been the only surviving original founder of the rebellion.
LMAO.
Padme,
Sorry.
yeah, not wrong.
Just fucking drag her, Jess.
Padme would have seen how Palpatine operated her entire career and been extremely vigilant even with his supposed end. Good God, how is he back? Damn, now I'm sad. I'm imagining Mon Mothma not only grieving but having imposter syndrome after her two very competent friends are dead. Also, now I'm imagining Padme and Cassian and Jin all meeting. Sad face, crying face emojis. But also they would have lived because Padme would have been like, no, we must fight.
Padme would have died during the rebellion.
Oh my God! He admitted!
All right, well done, Geeks.
So that
one-
was a comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
That one.
Listener at Space Jess with 4 S's.
Is it 4?
That's
Oh,
4.
good to know.
I can count.
It is 4.
I always just go several S's because I cannot count, famously.
Good thing you're the numbers
A
cruncher.
good thing. I never said I was good at arithmetic. I would never say that. I have been playing cribbage with Grandpa to get better at my arithmetic, so thank you for that.
How's it going? That does the math for you.
I am aware of that, but I'm good at making 15s and 31s, okay?
Good.
Eat my ass.
Proud of you.
That's a quote.
Proud of you,
from
Kristen.
Kate.
Yeah, no, it was.
She's
It
here
was.
with
It's
us.
been a while. In spirit.
In
miss
our
her.
hearts and minds.
I know, telling us all to tell others to eat all of the collective ass.
But no, I think this is like a very great point and kind of what we were getting at last week, where like I think Padme's unique background, as Jess talks about, as you two talked about last week, is like very much we see the difference between her and Mon Mothma in this book as when they kind of go head to head already. And I do think that it wouldn't have taken 19 years for the rebellion to build up, and they would have gotten more allies quicker because Padme had been in that very visible role in the Clone Wars of trying to broker peace.
Blah, blah, blah.
I still think she would have died.
Okay. God.
That's my
I-
hot take.
I think I think that the Emperor would have prioritized assassinating her in a way that he didn't care about Bail or Mon Mothma.
Correct.
Yes.
I
And
think
also, like,
that's
she
right.
wouldn't. I think like Vader would try to do like something like look the other way, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this is
we
you're
know his priorities.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Like, that's completely ignoring the fact that she would never have been allowed to live
Mm-hmm.
because the Emperor and Vader would have come for her. But
She would have gotten super dead.
yeah, she would have been dead 10 times over. But I do think that she would have been better for the rebellion, and it would have been.
Oh yeah.
I feel that the New Republic would have been more successful had she made it through the Alliance,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
or through the war rather.
Which of Bail Organa's capes is your favorite? This is from at Mando the Ginger.
Yeah, so now we're moving into the Patreon question
Oh,
segment.
At Mando the Ginger. That's her Twitter handle, is it? Not?
It is.
The
Okay,
blue
I
one?
thought so.
I don't remember any of his capes.
The one with the chain.
Oh. Oh yeah.
I like his Rogue One cape. I think it's a very strong cape.
That's a great question.
Wait, what's the gray one he wears? Is there a gray one?
I want to say he wears a gray cape in Revenge of the Sith, but I am not a cape aficionado.
Miranda, can we like pose as some organization that Quinn would work for so he can like leave for a weekend so we can watch all the Star Wars? Because I would like to do that.
Do you want to send him on a fraudulent trip?
Yeah. That seems like the easiest way to get him out of the house. Well, we have a puppy. It's complicated now.
Congratulations. You've won an all expenses paid vacation
God.
for one. You're going to Auckland for 3 weeks. No expenses are paid. Please leave now.
It would be just like that. But like that would give us like 48 good hours to watch Star Wars while he was on the flights. Anyway, also I think his Canadian passport is expired, so I'll have to do that.
No.
I mean he has his American passport. It's complicated.
No, but you want the Canadian
I know,
one.
no shit. No, that's the one where the
Gets you more
people
places.
the people hate you less when you're abroad. It's very helpful. Which handmaiden is our favorite?
I like the soft
Yes, this question
lesbians.
from Josh Harms
Spafork.
Spafork, lovingly. I feel like Sachés is like a sneaky favorite for me.
She's one of the soft lesbians, right?
She is indeed
the
one of the soft
one
lesbians.
who becomes the Naboo representative to the Naboo
Yes.
representative house place thing.
Who's the
Yes.
one?
I like her.
Who's the one who's growing this art stuff that's also science stuff?
Oh, that's Irte. I don't know
Great.
how
The
people
one
pronounce
who
that.
goes to the
Who like fucking
Gungan-
solves world hunger with
Yeah,
moss.
That
yeah,
one's my favorite.
strong
She's a
choice.
bad bitch.
Non-committal.
Thank you.
Oh my god.
Good question. Odie says how many handmaidens would it take to take down 30 to 50 feral hogs?
Okay,
I'm going like max 2.
Okay, well, if it's Sabe,
Yeah, two, give or take one.
Yeah,
if
right?
it's Sabe, 1. She's prepared for that.
Sabe.
Yeah.
If
I mean, if we're
it's-
including Padme in the handmaidens, Padme or Sabe 1.
I'm not including Padme.
Okay, I was just adding that, okay?
What?
I was just adding
What?
that. Okay, fuck off. Just stop looking at me like that. I'm pouring myself more wine. You're being mean.
If it's Sachet, then like 30 to 50.
30 to 50 feral Sachés. Protecting your kids from the 30 to 50 feral hogs.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Odie, why do you have to, like, it's like the questions he asks are always jokes, but then we spend way more time analyzing them.
I know,
than
they're
we
like
should.
thoughtful jokes.
I know.
God damn it.
That's what we love about you, Odie.
This is Odie McOatface at of many nicknames on Twitter.
He's the best.
From new Patreon member at haha yeah Tyler, aka
Oh,
Tits
dear
McGee.
friend of the pod Tits McGee.
he's one
Does
of
the book-
OGs.
He is.
He was one of the people who joined, who was one of the first people that we didn't know who started listening to the pod, and we sorry Tyler, we like talked about you in the group chat, like, do any of us know this person?
I know, it was
Oh my
great.
god, no, he's like a real listener. Holy shit.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Sorry, Tyler, that you're a real listener.
Anyway, Tyler asks, does the book make you look at Padme's character differently versus the movies and the Clone Wars?
Sure.
I mean, for me it does. I feel like I feel like Padme is very much two different characters in the movies versus the TV show in a way that other characters aren't. Like, I feel like because she is just not drawn out in the movies past Phantom Menace, like, she's kind of a blank slate, and she is shown as a very different person who is extremely committed to diplomacy, but also, like, you know, you do have that angle of, like, if I need to pick up a gun and fight you, I'm gonna do it. And I feel like we get more of the Phantom Menace, I will do what I must to protect my people, like political genius version of her in the book, rather than the kind of like super gung-ho, but like kind of like almost like blind optimism. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling and I don't entirely know what my point was, but I do feel like there's two different versions of Padme, and this one very much swings the pendulum back toward the movie version.
I mean, we all know that I've always been Padme trash.
Yeah, that's why you think the second prequel is the best. It's very confusing for all of us.
I know it's objectively terrible, but it is my favorite one. And I do look at her differently, but it's not that I look at her differently, it's that I love her more. And it's like also nice to have these explanations, right?
Yeah.
It's like the deader with her mouth closed is like, we need to sound the same.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like, I'm not annoyed at the way that everything was explained. Like, that's part of this question, I think, right? Like the Amidala voice and favorite
Yeah, so that was the second
that was
question.
His sub-question, right?
Let's dive into it just to read it for listeners, and I'm paraphrasing it because I was lazy. What's your favorite instance of E.K. Johnston retconning real in-universe explanations for random aspects of the movies, such as the Amidala voice?
All right, so let me just continue my point, because this was kind of my point. My favorite aspect of that was, like, the explanation of Queen Padme versus Senate Padme, and who she was in the movies, quote, quote, or, like, especially who she was in the Phantom Menace versus who we know her to be in the Clone Wars cartoon, and how different those folks, you know, those two characters seem to be. That was my favorite part, was, like, I was like, okay, I buy that. Like, works for me. Mm-hmm. Seems totally believable, especially when we think about, like, her handmaidens and all of that. That was definitely my favorite part, was, like, making that more believable. I mean, like, you know, I've said this before on the podcast. I'm somebody who, like, wants for it to make sense, and, like, is always going to give the writers the benefit of the doubt, especially when they've worked on it and maybe they, quote, deserve it, you know, like E.K. Johnston in this situation, where I'm like, they really fucked her into a corner, and she did a great job, like, kind of writing her way out of it. And hold on, I'm gonna let the dog out while Miranda makes her point, because I think Quinn's home.
Yeah, there's Quinn's home. I was gonna agree with something you just said. No, and I think that
Oh my god.
just gonna let Miranda talk while I squeal at the dog for a while. It is Daddy. Daddy's home.
Don't cut any of this. It's extremely awkward, and we should keep it all in.
But, like, I really like that there is that difference, because she has. You good?
Sorry. I didn't make it up.
She has.
We're leaving all of this in,
Like,
because we don't edit it anymore.
Yeah.
She has different purposes as a queen, and a senator. Like, that's a different set of responsibilities. She needs to fulfill a different role for each of those roles. And
Yeah.
I think this, like, especially the fact that this book does such a
Sorry.
good job of portraying the transition between the roles,
Yeah.
I think is very helpful. Because
Totally.
we can see her kind of take down those walls that she has about, like, being the queen and, like, this is how I have to be. Like, I have to be the symbol, I have to be this, I have to be this. And the senator is much more like, I need to go fight some bitches about what's right for Naboo.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Correct. I agree. Chris,
Yeah,
did
and
you
I mean,
have
I think
did you have an opinion?
I talked last episode about how much I love the concept of the Amidala voice and what it does. It's like, it's on par with Claudia Gray, like, writing that Leia was making fun of Tarkin when in reality Carrie Fisher just had no fucking idea what her accent was doing, and when she just has a British accent for exactly one scene.
Never forget.
It's really, and this obviously was just so much more involved rather than just like a throwaway joke. And it really just, I think, is like an incredibly deep and masterful reading of Padme's character to come up with that. And I mean, I also love the dresses just because I love the, like, the practical reasoning for this dress is massive and heavy and you can't move in it because it's actually body armor.
It's actually full of guns.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just like dresses but guns is like my fucking favorite thing.
It's really good. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know that I can pick a favorite. I love that she did that. I think it adds so much depth to the books. I think when you go back and watch Phantom Menace, it adds incredible depth to the films as well. Obviously, it takes suspension of disbelief because I don't think that Amidala voice was on George Lucas's mind. Maybe it was. I could be wrong. Handmaiden fandom, hit me up if I'm wrong. But like, I just think it adds so much more on both sides of it, and it's one of my favorite parts of this book.
Yeah.
That retconning.
Yeah, and I think too, like, we obviously know how poorly Padme was written in the films. Like, that's just a thing, you know. It's universally accepted by us here.
At Bookworms Pod.
Yes, right?
Sure.
I'm not wrong in saying that.
No, you are correct.
Okay. But like the whole book with E.K. Johnston just being like, oh, this is why they did the voice, and here's some shit about the dresses. It's like, fuck you. Padme's the best.
Super fuck you.
I'm going to do what I want. This is Padme now. I'm the captain now. And I love her for that.
I agree
Yep.
with that.
I think it's a good idea, and I'm standby.
Yes. Do we have final thoughts? Oh wait.
We have a final question.
Yes. Sorry.
First, from A_S_Rich on Twitter, friend of the pod. How much do you think Queen Shadow was a reaction to how Padme and the Handmaidens are portrayed in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith versus a love letter to the Handmaiden fandom?
Both.
Yes.
Porque no los bofa.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
I
you,
definitely think it's
Andrew.
both. Like, I know that E.K. Johnston has said, like, when talking about this book, that, like, it is, like, one of her dream books to write because she is so into the Handmaiden fandom. So I think it very much is a letter to that fandom. But I do think that, I mean, as we've talked about, it adds so much depth to Padme's character that just isn't present in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And that's not an accident.
We stand the Handmaiden fandom.
I think I kind of
Sorry,
just...
I keep coughing. This is what happens. It becomes the night, and then I start to cough. It's annoying. I'm aware.
We forgive you.
Uh.
One half of this podcast forgives you.
Miranda doesn't forgive me ever. which is very reasonable. She lives with me.
Yeah, I've been listening to this stuff for a month.
I know, it's
so.
fucking annoying. That's why they call it bronchitis, my friends.
That's the reason.
My final thought was, why is this YA? And then I said, sub point, I know why, but everyone should read this, damn.
The protagonists are young
I'm
adults.
aware that the protagonists are young adults, but like, I think it really fleshes things out. And I mean, I know why this is YA, because YA is painted as something for girls. And this is a
And
thing
children.
about the girls and children. And if this was regular, boys would come out and say that this isn't Star Wars. Great. Good talk. Because
Yeah,
of
it is.
misogyny. Good
It is
talk.
unfortunate, not that it's YA, but just that YA has this reputation. And this is something we've talked at length about,
We have.
particularly on our bonus episode with Poppy Ashwright.
Yep.
When
Which
we
is
were talking
from-
about Lost Stars, but
was that
some of
like
the best.
Bonus 2 or something.
It was early.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was early on.
Go
but
listen to that, though, if you haven't done that, if you're a new listener.
yeah, it was a good conversation.
She's
but
very,
yeah, I
very
mean,
knowledgeable about YA, and we go really in depth about kind of this throwaway point I just made. So don't listen to me,
Yeah.
listen to her.
but yeah, I mean, from Rebel Rising to Lost Stars to this, like, YA Star Wars writing is some of the best Star Wars writing of any category, and so it's unfortunate that YA has that, kind of stigma, thanks to the patriarchy of that it's not real writing or that it's not real literature, because these books are every bit as good as the other books and every bit as nuanced and detailed and deep, and they'll stand the test of time, and people will still be reading these books in a decade as the Star Wars fandom continues to grow.
Yeah. We try to do this already, but if there's we don't read all of the Star Wars YA books, but if there are, we read some of them. We read those.
We read all of them.
Do we read all of them?
We read all the YA books. We don't
Oh, I
read the
didn't-
middle grade.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know we read all the YA books. Fuck me, right? Sorry. JK.
As
Retracted.
an add-on / something else to Chris's point about we should be reading YA because it's good and stands the test of time. I just want
It's
to
true.
make a quick note that this is not the first YA book that E.K. Johnston has written that's been covered on this podcast. And the other one that she wrote was also very good.
Yep.
It was
That being Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. I think it would have come out, November-ish of 17? It was pretty early.
Hang on, I can do this. I can find it.
When our episodes came out or when the book came out?
Our episodes, it would have been November-ish, 17. But yeah, there's that great book. Again, something I think we should all read. Everybody should read because it's very good, especially if you have, seen the Clone Wars. You know Ahsoka, you love Ahsoka. We all do. It's totally cool. But there is that.
Yeah, absolutely recommend reading Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. We covered that on the pod on episodes 24 through 26. And our interview with Poppy Ashwright was on our Lost Stars wrap-up, which was
An
Damn it, I had it.
episode.
an episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was our bonus episode 5,
Oh.
right after our Lost Stars wrap-up,
Super.
which aired in early 2018.
Mm-hmm.
You love it.
Who wrote the next subpoint? That wasn't me, was it?
What subpoint?
The one after why is this YA?
Oh, it was me.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember.
That was my subpoint. I know it sounds like you. Your point was this is how queer shit should be written, please. Oh, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that is the one.
Oh well,
I'm
the
talking
sub point.
Oh, the sub.
is
What's the
letter
sub point
I.
under number 5? Final
Yes,
thoughts.
that was me. This is how queer shit should be written, please.
Yes, it's very
It was the other queer person on this podcast. Sorry.
just because Kate's not here.
Sorry to be queer near you. I know it's offensive. Yeah, look how it just slipped in and we didn't have to kill anyone to do it.
It's very soft.
Yeah, it didn't have to kill anyone.
Look at that. No one
Didn't
got
have to-
no one got fridged.
I don't know. Just
Look at
there's
that.
been a lot of
they
very
were just
ham-handed diversity writing in Star Wars.
They were
lately.
just they were
This
just
is
a
not it.
couple, like people are sometimes.
Yeah, it
and then
wasn't
that was
like
part of the story. It's almost
It was
like
very
that
clear-
that could be how it is otherwise.
yeah, it was very clear. It was very like it was not implied. It was in the text,
Yeah,
and it was just there.
I don't know, man.
Nobody had any horrible trauma for no reason, or
I don't know how many queer women you know, but like laying your head in someone else's lap could be implications and not actual relationship. It just be like that sometimes.
okay, that's fair. No, but like it was real.
No,
There
no,
was-
they
they were very explicit about it.
they
Anyway,
were gay for each other.
uh,
It was very
please-
soft and pure.
please write other queer relationships like this. What the fuck? This is how it be. It seems easy, but what do I know?
Give us more of that content and expand it and put it into a whole book. So
That's
I can
right.
read it, please.
But this is how you write queer side characters.
yes.
That's for sure. You could also write queer main characters like this, and you could just have them be queer, and then not murder them.
what a concept.
Yep.
Don't understand. Miranda, make your last point, and then I'll do the outro.
Okay, so I forget the actual character's name because what I wrote in the
she wrote
outline like
crisscross.
a month ago is crisscross, not spelled like the folks who sing jump.
No, she wrote crisscross. She wrote crisscross like 30 Rock crisscross. Anyway,
But it's that fucker that Padme like kind of befriends.
Rush Clovis.
Rush Clovis.
That
yes.
bitch.
Chris is back, and he's here to tell us it's Rush Clovis.
But like over the whole book, he's like just learning this basic emotion, like, oh, this might impact people's lives. And she's just kind of watching him, and it's fucking exhausting. And it exhausts me personally in the real world, not on the pages of my book.
Straight man.
I just need to acknowledge. I assume he might, but I have assumed that about other characters before.
Okay. Yeah.
But like,
I mean,
Oh no, Rush Clovis is white
yeah,
for sure.
he has big like straight white dude TM energy. And
we
it's
know
fucking
we know he's
exhausting.
white, but if we didn't know he was white, he's also rich
Yeah,
and privileged.
but
so
she is so
anyway.
fucking exhausted by like watching him learn these basic things. It's a big mood.
It's very relatable.
It's very relatable, and I just need to comment on it before we wrap up this
Super.
book.
I will do our
Absolutely.
wrap up for some reason.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you. This has been episode 107 of the Book Wars Pod. Why are you here? Our next episode, where at Real Baby Burb, that's not her handle. At Real Baby Bird is her handle. She will be with Kate and Chris IRL. She is going for Thanksgiving. So
Podsgiving.
but our next episode is we're reading Thrawn Treason, so go get that fucking book. You probably already have it because Blue Boys.
And we told you about it weeks ago.
We sure did. But it's Thrawn Treason, which is by Timothy Zahn, and we're reading the start through chapter 7. So if you want to read along with us and then follow along, please go do that and get that thing from your local indie or from IndieBound, please.
Or the library.
Or the library, all the places. You can find us on the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Tumblr, and the email. We are at BookWarsPod on the normal places, and BookWarsPod@gmail.com via the emails. The best way to help people find us is to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you are listening to us. And it also helps people find us if you do that for the Tashi Station Radio Mega Feed, which we also appear on because it's the Mega Feed and they're our parent network. So please do that. If you would like to support us otherwise monetarily, please donate to the Tashi Station Radio Patreon. It helps cover our hosting and production costs, and it's a really fun place for us to talk to you and for you to talk to us. The lowest tier gets you an invitation to our Patreon Slack, which is where you have the first chance to ask questions to us for our episodes. I'm gonna cough now.
And if you are on the Patreon Slack, which I believe is $1 a month,
That's right.
you get to drag us directly.
You do. And there's also a pets channel, which I often like to plug, because then we put pictures of dogs and kitties and other such pets in there. If you'd like to give to us directly to the Book Wars Pod, you can find us on Coffee. It's ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. And whenever we get one of those donations, speaking of pet pictures, we will post a photo of Porky, the pork chop, pod chop, Orca, or Jasper. And they are our little fur children. Oh no, you scrolled down. Please scroll back up. Thank you.
You're at the level you need to be at.
Oh yeah. Okay, I can't read. Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. And Chris is already regretting making me do the outro.
Honestly, on a scale of 1 to your usual outros, this
It's
is like a
pretty good, right?
solid 7. It's been good.
For Chris, Miranda, and me, we will
That's
talk
Kristen.
to you. That's me. Yeah. We will talk to you next week when it's. I don't know when we'll talk to you. It doesn't matter. Time is a construct.
Time, much like the galaxy, is fake and far away.